Ray Lansing began his broadcasting career 50 years ago at KGOS Radio in Torrington. It was during this time he began dating his future wife, Dorothy Strecker of Huntley. In 1956, Ray and Dorothy were married and returned to Thermopolis, where Ray continued to broadcast sporting events throughout the Bighorn Basin, in addition to his morning stint on radio. In 1957, when the call came from KFBC Radio and television in Cheyenne, the Lansings moved to Cheyenne, where Ray was the morning man for 8 years. One of the programs he is most remembered for is the famous Dancing with Lansing. That aired on KFBC Radio. People are still talking about it today, much to Ray's chagrin. During this time, he also broke into television, doing everything from news, weather, and sports. Well known around town, he was Captain Five. During his time at KFBC, he teamed with Larry Berleffi, broadcasting Wyoming Cowboy football and basketball for many years. Ray's friends and family affectionately referred to him as the Voice, and what a voice it was. Being the Voice required lots of stays in hotels, meals out, and time away from family. Scott Jones, former WAB president, tells the story of a road trip to Hawaii. When everyone was getting ready to go out, they couldn't find Ray and left him behind. A few minutes later, they ran into him on the street with a big bag of popcorn and a diet soda. They said, "Ray, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm going up to my room and watch old Hawaii Five-0 reruns and eat popcorn." Everyone shook their head and said only Ray would be in Hawaii eating popcorn and sitting in his room watching Hawaii Five-0 reruns. Ray's love for broadcasting was second only to his love for popcorn. In 1965, Ray felt that he had reached his limit in broadcasting and joined the ad agency Costa Brooks and Associates. He later became president of Smith, Lansing and Lane, which at the time was Wyoming's largest advertising agency. He eventually went on to open his own agency, Ray Lansing Advertising and Public Relations, which he sold to his daughter Laura Grott in 1996. Ray continued to use his talent to voice commercials for his clients on both radio and television.
Free money orders from the Federal Home Loan Bank and 4 more free services. Any passbook or certificate account at Provident qualifies you for free saver services.
Ray's daughter Laura remembers waking up on Sunday mornings to the radio, cranked up to, of all things, classical music, a project Ray had created for one of his clients, Greer Furniture. This hour-long program called the Greer Music Hall was hosted by Ray Lansing and was on the air for many years. This is just one example of how Ray used his broadcast expertise to enhance his client's name and reputation long after he left the field of broadcasting. Smith, Lansing and Lane had been an associate member of the WAB for several years when the association decided they needed a part-time executive secretary if the WAB was to grow. So in 1967, Ray made his pitch to the WAB board and was hired for the grand sum of $75 per month. During the time Ray served as executive secretary, the WAB membership grew. A newsletter was established and a new program called NCSA was begun to help the association with finances. In 1976, Ray Lansing was awarded the very first Friend of Broadcasting Award by Larry Wakefield, WAB president. In 1995, Ray announced his retirement, and the WAB board welcomed Ray's daughter, Laura, as his successor. Ray was honored for his service to the broadcasters in Sheridan at a special luncheon at the annual convention. Ray and Dorothy were given a standing ovation, and the broadcasters thanked Ray for all the work he did on behalf of broadcasters during his time as executive secretary. They also thanked Dorothy for spending many wedding anniversaries at WAB conventions. The WAB board renamed the WAB Distinguished Service Award in honor of Ray Lansing, now known as the Ray Lansing Distinguished Service Award. Although Ray felt very blessed to have worked at a career he loved, he also feels blessed for his wife of 49 years, Dorothy, and their 6 children, Val and her husband Rick, Laura and her husband Byron, Ray Jr. and his wife Angie, Jeff and his fiancée Georgia, David and his wife Stephanie and Jennifer. The Lansings also have 6 grandchildren: Randy, Craig, Lindsay, Lacey, Kyle, and Lucy. Perhaps Ray's contributions to the broadcast industry in Wyoming are summed up best by the inscription on the Friend of Broadcasting Award. The Wyoming Association of Broadcasters recognizes your dedication, which produced a new birth for our industry in Wyoming. Thank you, Ray, for your contributions to our industry and your dedicated service to the Wyoming Association of Broadcasters for nearly 30 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Lansing.